Hello again my friends, welcome to Warmind. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears, I come bearing news, an F-load of news. Bungie's latest blog post is crammed full of new Warmind info, and as ever, your humble servant MoreConsole is gonna break it down for you. We're gonna talk about the Prismatic Matrix. Yes, it's a stupid effing name, but I'm gonna explain how it works nonetheless. The new Legendary Nightfall Challenge card and the new Heroic Strike modifiers, a sneak peek at the May 8th patch notes, new loot info for Escalation Protocol, plus loads more tasty news nuggets. Let's effing go! Right then, let's start with the Prismatic Matrix, which is a new way to earn Season 3 Eververse items. Now, just to be clear, this isn't replacing Tess Everest. Tess will remain in the tower as she always has, with her own stock of Eververse items that you can purchase for Bright Dust. The only difference being, her stock will increase from 14 to 18 items. The Prismatic Matrix is simply a way for players to have a little more control over how they acquire Eververse items. So, as you can see here, there are 10 Season 3 Eververse items in the Prismatic Matrix, and this stock refreshes every week. Now, if you want a chance to acquire one of these items, you'll need a Prismatic Facet. Yes, it's an effing ridiculous name, but that's what it's called. So, how do you get a Prismatic Facet? Well, you can earn one per week for free. The first time you level up after the weekly reset, you'll get a Prismatic Facet. One free Prismatic Facet a week per account, that's your lot. Now, if you want more, you can purchase them for 200 silver each. So once you have a Prismatic Facet, you can use it to unlock one of the items on this list. It's worth pointing out that the item you receive is random. You can't simply select the item you want, which is kind of bullshit. But once you have one of the items on the list, you will not receive it as a duplicate. Using a Prismatic Facet will guarantee you a new item from the list until, of course, you have all the items on the list. Now, if there's nothing on the list you want, you can save your Prismatic Facet until the stock refreshes. So yeah, this gives you a little more control over how you acquire Eververse items. And just in case you were curious, you'll still earn bright engrams from leveling up as you always have. Now, let's move on, because I never want to say Prismatic Facet ever again. F me. Now, this is your current Nightfall Challenge card. Well, for the Warmind expansion, you'll be able to take this card to Zur and upgrade it to this Legendary Nightfall card, which allows for greater customization when choosing your modifiers for the Prestige Nightfall. And speaking of modifiers, check out the new Heroic Strike modifiers. The green mods give you an advantage in the strike, and the red mods will put you at a disadvantage. Green good, red bad. Now, here's a list of all the Heroic Strike modifiers. Now, the Heroic Strike playlist will have 3 of these mods active at all times. One burn, one advantage, and one disadvantage. The elemental burns, arc singe, solar singe, and void singe rotate weekly. The advantages and disadvantages rotate daily. Pause the vid if you want to read them all at your leisure. And check it out, the Legendary Challenge card has 5 extra unique disadvantages that you can choose in addition to all the Heroic Strike modifiers. When running a Prestige Nightfall, you'll be able to select 1 burn, 1 advantage, and 2 disadvantages. Now, because of these additional Prestige modifiers, you'll be able to hit high scores, and so the Prestige score milestones have also been increased: 30k, 60k, 110k, and 200k. The higher your score, the better chance of getting those rare Nightfall emblem variants and unique Nightfall loot drops. Bungie's reward designer has released new details on the loot you can earn from Escalation Protocol. Now, just in case you didn't already know, Escalation Protocol is a new endgame public activity that you can trigger while exploring on Mars. Now, think of this activity as the mother of all public events, a challenging horde mode with 7 waves of enemies to defeat and unique loot to earn. So then, what loot is on offer? Well, you can earn exclusive vanity items, that's a ghost ship or sparrow, from any of the chests that spawn during this activity. According to Bungie, these have a low drop rate, so they're pretty rare, but they are farmable, so you can keep on grinding until one eventually drops. Now, the unique weapons that I'll showcase here, the shotgun, sniper rifle, and SMG, only drop from the Wave 7 final boss, and again, these items have a very low drop rate, but get this, like the vanity items, these weapons are also farmable. There is no cap on the amount of times you can grind these bosses for a chance at a weapon drop. Now, it's worth noting that a total of 5 unique final bosses will rotate every week. After week 5, the first boss will rotate back in. 3 of these bosses will only drop one of these weapons. The other 2 bosses have a chance to drop all 3, so you may want to get your grind on when these 2 bosses show up, because you know, there's a chance at a weapon drop every time you kill the boss. Now, because there is no weapon cap, they will not drop as powerful rewards, so you'll need to infuse them to bring them up to max power. And by the way, killing the final boss will also drop a unique orange shader, which according to Bungie, looks effing sweet. Now, let's move on to the unique armor, which I think looks pretty amazing. The armor has a chance of dropping from the final boss chest. Not the actual boss itself like the weapons, but the boss chest. Now, this chest requires a key, and you can earn 3 keys a week, 1 per character. So how do you get your hands on a key? Well, key fragments drop from other activities in Warmind. Once you've combined these fragments to make a key, you'll need to charge it by completing the final wave in Escalation Protocol. And then when the chest drops, you can open it. Now, the armor pieces you earn from this chest are rewarded in a very specific order: class item, legs, arms, chest, head. So you have a full set by week 5 if you've put the grind in. Now, unlike the weapons, armor pieces drop as powerful rewards, so they will help you reach max power level. Hurrah! So yeah, you can take on Escalation Protocol with a 3-person fire team, but because this is a public activity, you can have 9 guardians battling it out to defeat incoming enemies and take down bosses, and you're gonna need all the help you can get, because things can get pretty intense. Remember, this is an endgame activity, and so Bungie has made it hard. Bungie has released a sneak peek at the May 8th game update that becomes available to all players whether or not you purchase Warmind. Let's have a look at them. First up, vault space has been increased by 100 slots from 200 to 300. This should help alleviate some of the stress and strain on your overflowing vaults. Next up, the new emote tool allows you to customize any direction on your D-pad with any emote you've collected in Destiny 2. Your entire collection is available right here in your emote slot, so you can change emotes on the fly, and as a result of this change, the emote collection has been removed from the vault. Next up, guided games will now feature a Leviathan guide emblem that tracks the number of raid encounters and raids a player has completed as a guide. This emblem rewards a unique aura for 14 days after a player completes a raid as a guide, and once a week, while this aura is active, guiding a raid to completion grants 1 bright engram. Next up, a new inventory tab has been created that will contain pursuit tracking items such as those for exotic quests. It's called the Pursuit tab. Items in the Pursuit tab are specific to each character and not shared across the account. And finally, a bit of a controversial one. Weekly lockouts for raid and raid layer rewards are now class based, so players running multiple characters of the same class will receive rewards only the first time they run the raid or raid layer in a given week. Now, when asked why Bungie did this, the studio replied by saying that raid rewards were locked to class to stop an issue that allowed players to max out their power level in a few days. Whether or not this remains a permanent change remains to be seen. Right then, it's time to tuck into all the tastiest tidbits of info from the past week. First up, Bungie revealed the buffs coming to the exotic sniper rifle Darcy, so let's have a look at them. So then Darcy now deals 4 times damage once locked onto a target, which is an awesome PvE perk, but let's not forget PvP too, with a 7-round mag, reduced zoom for closer engagements, and a retuned aim assist stat, not to mention the 4 times damage lock on. This could be godly. Next up, Activision's latest earnings report confirmed that a new game mode is dropping in the September expansion and will be revealed during E3 in June. Now believe it or not, I've actually played this new game mode at Bungie Studio, but if I divulge any specific details, Bungie will lock onto my head with a newly buffed Darcy and shoot my brains out at 4 times damage. And if that happens, I won't be able to make Destiny videos for you, so you know I'm gonna chill fam. But I will say this, if you want my initial impressions of this new game mode, which I am allowed to give, go watch my Destiny 2 Summit video. I'll give you a few nice little teasers. Now I've linked that video in the description box below, definitely worth a watch, cheers. Next up, Bungie released some useful storage space stats for those of you intending to download Warmind. For PS4, you need 71GB, for Xbox One, you need 50GB, and for PC, you need 68GB. Now the full Warmind patch notes go live at 10 AM Pacific time, March 8th, and an hour later at 11 AM Pacific time, the Warmind expansion itself goes live, so not long to go now. And check it out, Bungie released a Warmind comic that gives a lot more insight into Anna Bray's character. It's a nice way to ease yourself into the lore, and well, it's a time killer until the expansion rolls around. Now if you want to check it out for yourself, I've linked it in the description box below. And guys, I'm about to play you Bungie's latest video that showcases the cool kind of activities you'll be able to take part in when the expansion drops. We even get our first glimpse at the worm god Zol. Check it out, and we'll speak again at the end of this video.
Warmind is the start of the new conversation. It's a step forward in the direction we want to start taking Destiny.
We want content that brings us back and makes us want to play more. And so we knew that campaign was something that we needed to have nice and tight. But it was the new activities that we added to the destination that was much more important.
And we wanted to add pursuits in the destination, new gear sets and chasing after Seraph-themed weapons and gear. So we want players to feel like they're grinding with purpose, as I call it, focused on I know what I'm going for, I want to get it, and I'm going to keep playing it. It's kind of similar to what we just had with the DFA and the Nightfall. And we want that same feeling of I know that Seraph sniper rifle's behind there.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep grinding against this thing to get that gun.
Absolutely. There's going to be lore attached to all of these discoverables that are digging into that Warmind, Clovis Bray, Anna Bray relationship. You explore the glaciers, you're in the Clovis Bray facility.
Yeah, and the Warmind is, sitting up high, but then, have activities that run you through the tunnels that the Hive have dug out, and you come out into Hellas Basin, and then you see the skybox, you see the Rasputin pyramid, and it's just such an evocative thing of I want to find out what is there.
Diversity inside of this destination is out of control.
Yeah, huge scalloped walls of ice, but then big open expanses when you're on the top of the surface. There's a really cool dichotomy between all the spaces.
Well, one of the things that we wanted to do was bring back the big boss fight, and so we built the destination in a way that teases and ramps up to that big fight.
Destination always had in mind the worm god and Zol. It started with Rasputin, and then I think the next step after that was who are we fighting?
Formidable foe.
Formidable foe, yeah.
Yep.
And Vivi definitely is all about the big bosses. Really wanted to bring a big boss in, and
no matter how crazy you thought we
and
were.
it was the marriage of these two and making them coexist in a cohesive manner.
Another thing that came out from the playtest was the new relic we're actually putting in. You get the opportunity to actually wield a weapon of Rasputin's own design. And it's this javelin we call the Valkyrie that is a really deadly long-range weapon, but yet it's super powerful if you decide to use it in melee up front.
So we have all new campaigns to start out with. We've added new adventures, new quests, new exotics for players to find, and we have the new escalation protocol activity that we're adding. So we're encouraging players to stick around, play the destination, explore it, uncover secrets, and learn more about Rasputin and the Bray family.
So yeah, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, if you'd like to watch another Warmind video in which I break down how Bungie's buffing 11 exotic weapons, click this video. Some of the buffs are genuinely cool. Seriously, go check it out. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for heaps more Destiny 2 content, and thank you so much for watching, and as always, ha-tee-hee-hee, until next time, Guardians.